There is one reality you must accept if you want to win with women today. Her options are endless. 10 men are messaging her right now. 10 more will flirt with her tonight. Tomorrow, 10 others will appear. Looks, money, smooth words, none of these are enough to set you apart. What truly separates you is power. Not power in the loud sense, but the invisible kind Machiavelli wrote about. The structure that commands respect without asking for it. The strength to hold your frame, even in silence. The presence that makes her body tense and her mind restless. In this video, I will give you 8 Machiavellian habits that turn you from just another option into the only man she cannot ignore. Habits that make your attention irresistible, your words unforgettable, your silence burning with tension. Stay until the very end, because each habit builds on the last, and the final one is the key that makes all the others work. Miss it, and you'll remain like the rest. Master it, and you'll stand above 99% of men. Let's begin. The first habit is brutal in its simplicity. Stop competing for her attention. Every man who chases her looks the same. They orbit around her like flies around sugar. They think persistence equals value. They think if they push harder, she will finally see them. But here's the truth. When 10 men push, their presence becomes noise, and the one man who pulls away becomes gravity. Machiavelli once observed that scarcity is the greatest amplifier of value, and nowhere is this more true than with women. Think about it. The men she forgets are the ones always available, always responding, always showing up. The man she remembers, the one she obsesses over, is the one who left a gap, the one she couldn't fully read, the one who disappeared just when she thought she had him. Imagine this. She posts a story on Instagram. 10 men reply instantly. Hard eyes, fire emojis, thirsty compliments. You don't. You don't even watch it. And then 3 days later, when she has forgotten about the noise, you respond to a completely different story with a single line. That look in your eyes, it says more than you realize. That's not just a reply. That's an event. Because you were absent when everyone else was present. And now, your presence hits 10 times harder. If you're dating her, the same rule applies. When she pulls back, most men panic. They call, they beg, they explain. You don't. You let the silence breathe. You stay on your mission. You let her feel the weight of your absence. And when you finally reappear, calm and unbothered, she feels the contrast. Her body remembers the emptiness, and now craves the return. This is how absence becomes desire. It's not about ghosting. It's about discipline. It's about training her nervous system to associate your presence with intensity, because it's never guaranteed. Here's the move. Tonight, resist the urge to compete. Don't rush to reply. Don't flood her with attention. Create space. And then, when you finally show up, let your words carry weight. Because once a woman starts feeling the difference between your absence and your presence, she will crave you more than the men who never leave. The second habit is about dominating presence. And here's the truth. When a woman tests you, it's rarely about the words you say. It's about the frame you hold. Most men fail here. They think attraction comes from being clever, funny, or over-explaining themselves. They rush to defend their character if she questions it. They try to prove they're different from the rest. But the Machiavellian man knows. Power is not in words. It's in gravity. Machiavelli believed that authority is established not by argument, but by presence. A king doesn't justify why he wears the crown. He sits, and the crown justifies itself. That's the posture you must adopt. Here's an example. You just matched with a girl on an app, or maybe you're talking at a bar. She throws the kind of test women love to use. So, are you one of those guys who just tells every girl the same thing? A weak man will defend himself. No, no, I don't do that. I'm actually different. A defensive man will push back. Well, maybe you just assume too much. But the man who holds the frame? He pauses, smiles slightly, looks at her, not like she wounded him, but like she just gave him the chance to lead. And then he flips it back with calm gravity. Do you usually ask questions like that when you're trying to figure out if a guy can keep up with you? Frame flipped. Now she is the one explaining herself. She is the one off balance. And you? You stayed untouchable. This is the habit. Never fight for the frame. Replace it without force. It doesn't matter if you're on a first date, texting after a match, or meeting someone at a party. The test will always come. And every time, most men crumble, either by chasing approval, over-explaining, or getting defensive. You don't. You hold still. You redirect. You turn her words into an opening that puts you back in control. Because here's the truth. Women test not to destroy you, but to measure you. They want to feel if you are unshaken under pressure, if you can lead without collapsing, if your calm presence makes them safe to lean into. And when you show that, you stop being one more guy. You become the man she feels drawn to without knowing why. Here's how you practice this habit universally. Next time a woman teases you, don't defend. Pause. Smile. Ask her something that makes her reveal herself. Next time she withdraws, don't chase. Stay still. Let her energy return on its own. Next time she challenges you, don't resist. Redirect the frame until it bends around you. Because once you learn to hold the frame in any setting, apps, parties, conversations, even silence, you stop being one of many and become the one she remembers. The third habit is about creating obsession. And obsession never comes from comfort. It comes from curiosity. Most men kill their chances before they even begin, not because they're unattractive, but because they're predictable. They text the same way. They compliment the same way. They show up in her world like echoes of every other man. Good morning, beautiful. Sweet dreams, princess. Hey, what's up? And every time they lower themselves into the swamp of the forgettable. But Machiavelli understood something timeless. Men who wish to be loved must learn to inspire both hope and fear. In relationships, this translates into mystery and tension. If she knows exactly when you'll text, exactly what you'll say, exactly how you'll react, she may like you, but she will never desire you. Because desire is born in the unknown. Imagine this. She's lying in bed. It's 2:47 a.m. Her phone lights up, not with good night or thinking of you, but with something no other man would ever send. A sentence that feels like it came from your private world, not from a script. Do you know why I can't sleep? I keep picturing the look you had when you caught yourself staring at me. Her body reacts before her mind does. She rereads it. Twice. She bites her lip. She wonders what you're thinking about her at that exact moment. That's the hook. That's unpredictability. You didn't feed her comfort. You fed her curiosity. Think of the difference. Comfort texts are routine. They give her nothing to imagine. Curiosity texts are sharp. They make her restless, replaying you in her head. This doesn't just apply to texting. In real life, most men move like patterns she can predict. They laugh at the same jokes. They brag about their cars, their money, their plans. They take her to the same restaurants, repeat the same date scripts. But the man who breaks the script? He shifts her entire nervous system. Picture this. She's expecting dinner and a movie. You change direction mid-evening. You take her to a jazz bar hidden in an alley. You lean in, whisper, "This place feels like the kind of spot where people either plot revolutions or fall in love." Now she isn't just sitting across from you. She's inside your story. And once a woman feels like she's living inside your story, you're no longer a man she met. you're a world she stepped into. Here's how to make this habit practical. Stop sending routine texts. Every message should either spark curiosity, create tension, or paint an image. Don't announce every move. Leave space for surprise. If you said you'll call tomorrow, sometimes don't. And when you do call, make it late, unexpected, magnetic. Drop one sentence in her mind that she can't stop replaying. Not a compliment, but an observation so personal she feels like you see through her. This habit is about shifting from comfort provider to desire creator. Comfort makes her like you. Curiosity makes her crave you. And once you master unpredictability, you'll see the power. While other men fade into background noise, you become the signal she can't turn off. Machiavelli would tell you, fortune favors the bold, not the predictable. So break the script, because the man she desires most is the man she cannot predict. Here's the fourth habit. Use scarcity to fuel desire. If you give constant, predictable attention, she'll stop noticing it. That's the trap most men fall into, thinking more attention equals more attraction. It doesn't. Unlimited attention is like tap water, cheap and overlooked. Instead, make your attention rare and intentional, like a fine wine. Give it in measured doses so that every drop counts. Think about it. When you like every story she posts, when you reply instantly to every message, when you text her good morning every single day, you're not seducing her. You're training her. You're teaching her that your attention costs nothing. And what costs nothing is valued at nothing. Machiavelli warned rulers of this exact trap. The man who makes himself too available is despised. Power is built on distance, on control, on making others hunger for what they cannot easily reach. This is how you must treat your attention, not as a flood, but as a weapon. Picture this. She posts a story of her coffee, her gym session, her new outfit. 10 men reply instantly. Looking good? Wow, so hot. Where's that place? You don't. You stay silent. 2 days pass. Then suddenly, you reply. Not with thirst, but with depth. You notice something no one else did. Funny. I can tell from your eyes you weren't in the mood that day. Now your message hits like lightning. Not because you said more, but because you said less. And at the exact moment she thought you weren't watching. This is the art of scarcity. It's the same in real life. When you're at a party, most men hover around her, orbiting her attention. You circulate. You speak to others. You laugh. You shine. And for minutes at a time, you disappear. When you finally return to her, your presence is not taken for granted. It's anticipated. That's why scarcity isn't about ignoring women. It's about calibrating the supply of your presence so it feels rare, not routine. Here's how to practice this habit in your daily life. Don't reply instantly to every message. Let silence build value. Stop rewarding every post, every move with validation. Save your reactions for the moments when they'll strike hardest. Balance availability with absence. Be present enough to remind her of your value, scarce enough to make her miss it. And here's the secret most men never understand. When attention is rare, it becomes addictive. She will wait for it. She will crave it. She will adjust her behavior to earn it. Because here's the law. Abundance destroys desire. Scarcity fuels it. Machiavelli would remind you, men desire most what they cannot fully possess. So stop being the man she can reach at any hour. Be the man she hopes to reach and never fully can. Here's the fifth habit. Anchor emotions to make her crave your presence. Scarcity makes her want your attention, but emotions are what make her addicted to your presence. The truth is, a woman won't remember the man who simply made her feel safe and comfortable. She'll remember the man who made her feel alive, excited, and on fire. Think back to your own life. Do you recall the people who were nice to you? Polite? Consistent? Always agreeable? No. They blur into the background. But the ones who shook you? Who left a scar, a moment, an imprint? Those are the ones you cannot erase. Machiavelli understood this principle of power. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. In relationships, this translates into intensity over comfort. Love mixed with fire is unforgettable. Comfort without intensity is disposable. Here's what this looks like with women. Most men hand out compliments like candy. You're beautiful. You look amazing. I like your smile. Do you know what she does? She nods, says thank you, and forgets it by tomorrow. But the Machiavellian man doesn't compliment. He engraves. Instead of saying, "You're pretty," you say, "The way your eyes darken when you're hiding something. It unsettles me." Now she freezes. Her breath shortens. She thinks, "He saw that? How does he know me like that?" And suddenly, your words live inside her. She replays them in the shower, in bed, when she stares at herself in the mirror. That's the power of anchoring emotions. One sentence said with weight that burns in her mind for months. Picture another moment. She's ranting about work, about a friend, about life. Most men just nod, or worse, change the subject. You don't. You listen, then cut through with precision. You know what I notice? Your fire shows most when you're angry. That's why no one can ever truly control you. She pauses. The rant is forgotten. Now she's staring at you, realizing you just revealed a part of her identity she didn't even put into words. That's anchoring. That's leaving a mark. Here's how to practice this habit. Never give generic compliments. Give observations that only you could see. Say less, but say it with depth and timing that pierces. Use tension in your words. Make her feel both exposed and desired in the same moment. And here's the deeper secret. When you anchor emotions, you shift her memory. Even if she tries to walk away, even if she meets 10 other men, she will compare them all to you. Because you are no longer just a man. You are a trigger. That's how obsession is born. Not through comfort, but through unforgettable fire. Machiavelli would whisper, "The memory of impact endures longer than the comfort of peace." So stop chasing comfort. Leave marks she cannot erase. The sixth habit is about emotional safety. And here's the truth. A woman will never surrender fully to a man she feels she must protect from her chaos. She only gives her soul and body to the one who can handle her storm. Most men crumble when a woman is messy. She complains, she's moody, she cries, and they panic. They rush to fix it. They argue, or they withdraw completely because they don't know how to handle her raw self. But the Machiavellian man knows. Storms are not to be feared. They are to be absorbed. Machiavelli wrote that the strength of a leader is proven not in times of peace, but in crisis. The same applies with women. If you can remain calm when she rages, steady when she doubts, and unshaken when she pushes, she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels safe. Picture this, she comes home after a brutal day. Her words are sharp, her tone is cold, her energy is scattered. A weak man argues, "Why are you talking to me like this?" A defensive man withdraws, "Fine, I won't bother you." But the man who understands, he doesn't flinch. He watches. He listens. He lets her pour it out until she has nothing left. Then, with calm gravity, he says, "Done?" And when she nods, still heated, he smiles lightly and pulls her close. Not gently, but firmly, like he's holding the storm itself. Now she feels it. For the first time that day, she can breathe. Not because you solved her problems, but because you proved you can hold her weight without breaking. Here's the secret. Women don't crave a man who avoids their chaos. They crave the man who can take it, who makes their worst sides feel accepted, contained, even desired. In practice, this means when she's messy, don't panic. Sit back, let it flow. When she's testing you with mood swings, don't collapse. Ground her by staying grounded yourself. When she pushes, don't push back. Absorb, then redirect. Because when she realizes she can bring everything, the beauty, the fire, the storm, and you won't break, her desire deepens. She becomes addicted to that safety because she cannot find it anywhere else. That's why Machiavelli would say, the fortress is strongest not because it resists every attack, but because it never falls. Be her fortress. Be the man who can hold her storm. The seventh habit is about passing silent tests. And here's the truth. When a woman withdraws, delays her reply, or ignores you, it's never random. It's always a test to see if you control yourself, or if she controls you. Most men fail here. She doesn't answer for a few hours, and they panic. They double text, they call, they send memes, they beg for attention. All she sees is weakness, because silence exposed them. But the Machiavellian man understands. Silence is not a punishment. It's an arena. And the man who holds his frame inside it is the one who earns respect. Machiavelli wrote that power comes not from reacting to every move, but from dictating the rhythm of the game. In relationships, the same law applies. When she pulls away, it's not your turn to chase. It's your turn to stand still. Picture this. She leaves you on red for 6 hours. 9 men respond with desperation. Did you see my message? Are you mad? Hello? You don't break. You go about your life, you work out, you laugh with friends, you live as if her silence changed nothing. When you finally reply, it's not an essay. It's short, calm, unbothered. Hope your day's good. That's it. No chase, no collapse, just composure. Now her mind starts racing. Why didn't he push? Why didn't he panic? Does he not need me as much as I thought? And that is the seed of attraction. The realization that you cannot be controlled. This is how you pass the silent tests. Never double text. One message is enough. Don't demand answers. Let her silence work against her, not you. Keep living visibly. Post, move, shine, so she sees that her withdrawal doesn't pull you into darkness. Because here's the truth. Every ignored message, every delayed response, every cold silence is her way of asking one question. Are you strong enough to be untouched by me? When you answer that with calm strength, desire grows. Respect grows. And she begins to feel what every woman craves but rarely finds. A man who doesn't break, no matter the game. That's why Machiavelli would whisper, the man who cannot be bent is the one who eventually bends others. So let her silence come. Let the test unfold, and pass it, not by chasing, but by standing unshaken. The eighth and final habit is about detachment with strength. And here's the truth. The man who is willing to walk away is the one she fights to keep. In other words, the fear of losing you becomes her desire. Most men cling tighter when they fear losing a woman. They overinvest, they chase, they plead, and the more they do, the more she pulls away, because nothing kills desire faster than neediness. But the Machiavellian man knows a paradox of power. Desire doesn't grow from what is secure. It grows from what can be lost. Machiavelli wrote that men fear losing freedom more than they value comfort. With women, the same principle reigns. When she feels she could lose you at any moment, her body tenses, her mind races, her desire sharpens, because uncertainty is the fuel of attraction. Picture this. You're in her bed. She asks, "You're not going to leave me, right?" A weak man clings. "Of course not. Never." A desperate man overpromises, "I'll always be here no matter what." But you don't lie. You don't cling. You hold her gaze and say, "I want you, yes, but I don't need you. If this stops working, I'll walk away. Her heart skips. Her stomach flips. Because now she realizes, your presence is a choice, not a dependency. And choice is infinitely more powerful than need. This is how you master detachment. Never tie your entire identity to her presence. Always have a mission, a world, a life beyond her. Show her through your actions, not just words, that while you desire her, you remain complete without her. The effect is magnetic. She feels the fear of losing you, and instead of pulling away, she clings harder. Instead of testing, she submits. Instead of controlling, she surrenders. Because here's the truth. The man who doesn't need her is the one she needs most. That's why Machiavelli would say, "He who depends least commands most." So hold her close, but never grip too tight. Want her fully, but never need her. Because the moment she realizes you could walk away at any second, she will fight harder than ever to make you stay. Now you see what all of this was really about. Her silence, her teasing, her little games. They were never random. They were tests. Not to destroy you, but to reveal you. To find out if you are a man she can move, or a man she must respect. Most men break here. They chase, they beg, they explain. They show weakness without even knowing it. But you stayed until the end. You listened. You absorbed. And now you hold something most men will never touch. The ability to stay calm, centered, and in control no matter what she does. This puts you above 99% of men. Because while they drown in neediness, you rise in strength. While they react to her moods, you dictate the rhythm. While they fear her silence, you welcome it. Understand this. If you can stand unshaken with a woman, you can stand unshaken with life. The same discipline that makes her desire you is the same discipline that makes the world respect you. And once you feel this power, there is no going back. From now on, you don't need to chase, you don't need to beg, you don't need to prove. You simply stand. And when you stand long enough, everything bends toward you. You are now the man who cannot be broken. The man who leads without forcing. The man who turns silence into fire and tests into respect. And from this point on, nothing, no woman, no test will ever have the power to break you again. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.